Hello and welcome back to Marketing Automation Implementation course. This is part 3.1 and now we're going to learn how to use User Engage in your company. First, we're going to cover the basics, so how to onboard your team, how the system basically works, where can you find help, and more. Alright, I'm now in my application. Currently, I'm in the people section. So this is the list of the users that you saw in the previous part of the tutorial when we performed the implementation. So at this point, I already have the technical implementation done. I know that in many cases, you will start configuring your account before the script is on your website. So you will not have the situation where you already can generate page views and stuff like that. However, this should not be any problem within this tutorial. One thing that you can spot is that there might be small differences between how your layout looks like and mine, because I record this on a version of our application which is still in beta. So there might be some small differences, but the main idea of how the system works should be totally identical. Alright, so let's start with the navigation. As you can see, most of the navigation is done by the menu at the top of the screen. Also, there are always those buttons right here, which allow you to manage the data that you currently see. And there's usually a key button that allows you to create a new element. In top left corner, I can see my application name. When I click here, I will see a list of all the applications that I have, and I will be able to search it and create a new application if I need one. Of course, it will be created in trial mode because you have to separately pay for each application that you have. What else do we see? In the top right corner, I can see a small search icon. When I click on it, I'm able to search my database looking for people, companies, deals, and other elements of the system. Moreover, I can see a guide for beginners. There you'll see ready-to-use templates for how you can use automations in your business. Then changelog, which shows us new features developed in User Engage recently. Then documentation, and this is a key element, I think, because the documentation covers practically any aspect of using the system. So, as you can see, we have different categories, and each category can have different multiple articles inside. So this one, for example, has 19. I can search the documentation by simply going like event. As you can see, there are lots of articles about events and how to generate them in different situations, how to use them, and so on. So as you can see, the documentation is pretty large and covers almost any aspect of using the system. If you can't find something within this documentation, go on and ask on chat to add this article. Just simply outline the purpose of the article that you would like to see there. In the top right corner, I can also see notifications, but I will cover that later. They will just tell you about different things that are happening in the system. There might be different situations where notifications are being used. And my user icon. So when I click here, I can go to my user profile. So this is what we're going to cover right now. First, I have to upload a picture, or I should upload a picture. You have to bear in mind that having a picture here in the chat icon will greatly improve the conversion. So more people will contact you if you have a personal icon right here instead of either a stock image or nothing at all. So I greatly encourage you to include your own picture right here. The next thing is general information. So it's great to let your customers know a little bit about you. So you can include not only your name, surname, and email, but also other information such as your role, your short bio, or Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter profiles. Those will make you seem more human, and in many businesses, having this more personal relationship with the customer will greatly improve the conversion. And also it will make your job a lot enjoyable. Then I go to language and time zone. This is quite important because dates and other elements in the system will be clocked by this time zone. As you can see, I currently have it set for Europe Warsaw, but you can search and include your own. Also, I set the language of the application for English, and you're more than welcome to change it for other languages. Sadly, still there are lots of languages that we do not cover, but we're definitely looking forward to translating the system into more languages. Then my password settings, I can create a new password and update it here, and notification settings. So basically, we want you to know about key events that take place in your application. You have 3 different types of notifications: email notifications, mobile notifications, which are push notifications of the mobile application of user engage, and desktop notification. Desktop notifications is a push notification. So those 3 relate to conversations, so people who write with you on chat. So when someone assigned to me the conversation assigned to you messages you, what kind of notifications should you receive? The email notification comes 5 minutes after the message comes in, because we want to give you time to respond instead of spamming you with email every time someone mentions your name. The second row is conversations assigned to others, and the third one, unassigned conversations. So as you can see, there are quite a lot of ways of manipulating with those notifications. Also, you can set summaries. Those summaries are something like key reports about key interactions in your application, such as the number of deals won or the number of emails sent and so on. So this is the user profile. What else can we find right here? I can answer incoming calls by clicking this button. Sadly, my application does not yet have a call center module activated, but if I had, I would enter sort of a phone booth, so when someone calls my number, then I would be able to respond to that call right within the app. But I will talk about the call center later on. Now, after setting up my user profile, let's go to our website and see how the widget looks like. As you can see, it's here. As you can see, my picture is visible right here, and I can chat with the agent. However, I might decide that the design of the widget does not fit my website. So what can I do? I can go to Settings, Main Settings, and here I can set different elements of the widget design. The first one is the color of the widget. In User Engage, you can set 3 different colors, and User Engage will make a gradient between those colors. It looks really great. Another thing you can set is the conversation color. It's the color of the widget, but also color of the background of messages that you send via the chat. Also, here I can upload a different widget of the icon, which will be displayed right here. What else? I can set the widget class. Widget class is the way it looks when it's expanded. So modern is the standard like this one. When I set it to classic, then it will be a lot bigger. It will be connected with the borders of my page. Then next settings include Widget State. So the standard is the current one. So when there is this small icon and after several seconds this small window appears. So this is standard. I can set simple. In this case the widget icon looks the same, but this window does not appear. Also expanded, which means that whenever I come to the website, the widget is already opened. And hidden. This means that the widget is not displayed at all. Then widget alignment, of course, it can be in the right bottom corner or left bottom corner. And launcher class. Launcher class is basically this element, so it can look like this in the modern style, but also you can use this standard type, which provides a little bit more simple design. So this is all when it comes to the design of the widget, which is very important at the beginning of setting up your account, because it's a visible element on your website and you want to make it look as well as it's possible. Another thing that you can set in the widget settings are appearance and language. So as you can see, there are different prompt messages that you can set. By default, you have this English one, which we've predefined for you, but you can add more languages so that your chat is also in your native tongue. This language will be adjusted to the user based on their website browser settings. The next key element in the early implementation stage is setting up your teams. I go to Settings, Team Management. As you can see, I'm the only agent inside the application. Of course, I have admin access to the application because I've graded it. So new people that you invite, if you not set it differently, will only have sort of user access level. This means that they will not be able to access the main settings or team management sections of the app. You have to enable those manually. So let's invite a new agent. Of course, I can predefine all those fields for them or leave it for them to fill out in their user section. So I will invite other user, like other at userengage.com, and I will not select the rest of the fields. However, in your situation, if you know that you invite someone who will use the chat, you either should include those information or really make sure that they include them themselves. Alright, I can send an invite. Then the agent has been invited. Now an email has been sent to that user. The user only has to click a link inside that email. Let's see. As you can see, I've been invited to join the application, and I just have to click here to land inside the app. Alright, now let's move on. I can create different agent groups to organize their work. For example, I can create a group called Sales Representatives. As you can see, there's an error in the way it's being shown. This is because it's in beta. I'll report it in a second and it will be fixed in no time. I'm sure you will not see it like this. So, who's in this group? Lech Gorlevich is not in this group, and those people are in the group. So I just have to move myself right here. And now I can set different permission groups. So currently I have two types of permissions, for agents and for admins. Of course, I will keep the admin settings for myself. Right, now I can save the group, and the group has been created. You might have different teams such as sales representatives, customer support representatives, marketers, and so on. Organizing your team in those groups gives you the ability to first select their access level, which we'll cover in a second, but secondly also assign chats to the right groups. So let's go to access levels. So I have two access levels. I can create a new one right now. So I will call it sales representatives. And so I will not give them admin access. I will let them use the CRM and mailing features, but not web push notifications because they don't need them. They will also not have access to knowledge base, engagement, and analytics section. They will have full control over operations regarding companies, deals, and users. When I save those team settings, I will be able to assign this setting to the agent group sales representatives. Of course, I'm not going to do this because I want to keep the admin settings for myself. So this is how you can make the app easier for people in your organization. By simply lowering their access levels, you will make the app a lot more simple for them. And the last element here is the assignment rules. Assignment rules help you adjust the type of agents that work with different users. So for example, I might have a segment called New with Email. The people who are new in my application and they have an email will land in this segment. And I want sales representatives to talk with those people. So I'll create an assignment rule that will match those two groups. This means that whenever someone joins this segment and sends an email, those people will receive notifications because they have those notifications assigned to them automatically. Alright, so this is an assignment rule. If I create multiple assignment rules, I will have to select the hierarchy of which rule is more important because there might be conflicts between them. Alright, this is it when it comes to managing your team.